Could you talk about how a lot of the Canadian banks now, or many of them, have a presence in the United States? And is there any differentials in operations between what the Canadian banks are offering in the US compared to what they're doing in Canada?
Yeah, I mean, this is a broad-based question because it's not the same for every bank.
Hmm.
But going very quickly, Bank of Montreal obviously is focused very much on commercial banking in the United States. They made the largest acquisition in Canadian bank history, Bank of the West, and they already had a sizable presence. So they're focused mostly on, we'll call them, they have a regional bank in the United States, albeit one that has is all over the place. If you go to Bank of Nova Scotia, they have a passive interest in KeyCorp. So they're not operating in the United States, but they have economic exposure to it, and they have their own corporate loan book and so on. And then you go to CIBC, they have a small mid cap bank based in Chicago, and then National Bank does not have any operations in U.S. banking. And then you move to RBC, which has a great platform, which is very diversified. They have the 10th largest investment bank. They have a large full service broker. Um, and they have this Bank of Hollywood, a bank in California that basically banks Hollywood. So a spectacularly wealthy client base, but very diversified. And they have a large full service broker. And then
Hmm.
if you go to TD, which everybody who has read the paper knows, they made one large bet in the United States and some catastrophically bad risk management has put them
Yep.
into the penalty box for the better part of the next 5 to 6 years.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
that's a very, very big, like they're the 10th largest bank in the United States.
Wow. So TD
Something,
is the
something
10th
like
level.
that. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
they're quite large.
Interesting. Yeah. And I believe Scotiabank's more focused on the South American and Caribbean markets.
Yeah, well, Latin America kind of writ large, but I think they seem to be focused now more on Mexico and the Caribbean outside of the United States. They do have a big corporate loan book in the United States, but generally speaking, if they're their platform is very distinct from the other. National and Scotia are the ones that don't have large U.S. banking operations. But as I mentioned, Scotia now has indirect or passive exposure in the form of a 15% investment in a very large regional based in Ohio called KeyCorp.